Hello, 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 everybody. Everybody. What's cracking? What's happening? What's going on? How is everybody doing? Guys, people of the sea, people of everywhere. Everywhere, everything. Am I really that antisocial anymore? That is the question. Growth and development. Guys, I've been on a roll here on my live streams talking about randomness and stuff. This time it kind of leads to another. If you haven't watched my last video, go watch it. It's just like a being world chat and chill. But I did mention something in there on that live stream that made me think about this topic. Clearly. Oh my God, Gover. On again, Gover's gonna be spitting on his wheel. Gover is my chinchilla. He goes super insane. I just got home. Of course, my horse. Let's see. Okay, there we go. So, when I tell you I'm antisocial, I can say I have grown into a person that's different. So, my background history is, yes, a lone wolf. I am a lone wolf. I stick up for myself. I speak for myself. I fight for myself. I do everything myself. No help. And I just realized this in my last live stream because my history is like very sad, depressed, old me. This is a growth and development too. I was very in a sad moment in my life, very dedicated to depression. Like, I was literally dedicated to depression. Like, I just like, no, I just want to feel sad. I just want to feel sad all day, every moment of my life. I just want to feel sad. So I'm basically dedicating myself to depression and being depressed. And what really caused that was a relationship. My last relationship is what caused a lot of my antisocialness. And it's all like because I didn't grow and develop. Now, I was in my last relationship for about 10 years. So it's all like I was still being the same person basically for that. I don't even know how to sound. It sounds so wrong. It sounds all effed up or jacked up, but basically I was the same person for about 10 years, doing the same thing, being the same person, being depressed and sad and antisocial, very antisocial. Like, I didn't talk to any of his family. I didn't talk to anybody of it. Well, I barely talked to some of his friends. Only like one of them that I really could possibly talk to. And I was, like I said, I was in that loop. And this is why I said on my live streams last season about relationships, a lot about relationships, is that sometimes it's good to just let go because you're basically repeating yourself. You're not growing, you're not developing. You want to grow and develop, but if you're with that same person, yes, sometimes you can grow and develop together. Sometimes, but sometimes that's not all the case. So I was so antisocial. I didn't want to go out. You know, I didn't want to do nothing. Basically, just stay home, play video games. And my last relationship, we really didn't go out to the park. We didn't do anything because I guess we were not adventurous. We were not like hello, hello, welcome in, hello. But it's like it's kind of hard to say. But let's just say I was I dedicated myself to that same person. I didn't grow. I didn't develop anything, and it made me, like I said, be in down in the dumps. And when we broke up, that's when I was really, 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 like really, really down in the dumps, very depressed and still very antisocial. And I was just like, he was my best friend, not my best friend, but he was a friend that I basically was with, like as we met as a friend. Well, like I said, I don't know the definition of a friend, but basically we were in a relationship and we were basically connected one on one. And when you connect with the person and bond with the person for X amount of years, no matter what happens at the end, you still have that emotional attachment to. So I was going through depression. I was going through stuff. I didn't have any money or anything for going to the doctor or anything like that. But I was over overcoming that relationship. It took a lot of out of me, and it was during let me see, it was during the beer bug when I started having anxiety because of what was going on and because of the facial masks. I had a history of not being able to breathe, like anxiety and what do you call it? Asthma. Now the asthma started because I was riding my bicycle all the time, to and from work, to and from everywhere, and that's when that happened. So when I got a vehicle, that's when the asthma just magically disappeared because I was just not inhaling so much exhaust, and that also goes with anxiety, antisocial, because you feel cooped up, you just don't feel like you're sane. And so during the beer bug, they wanted us to wear masks. Everybody was had to mask up and put gloves on. I had got very high anxiety just by covering my mouth. And when that happened, yes, everybody attacked me. It's prone to attack. People are prone to attack anybody. But yeah, people were like, you don't want to get it. You don't want to get it. No, you don't want to do it. It's all in your brain and stuff like that. We all know everything's in our brain, no matter what. Everything is made up in our brain. Thoughts, opinions, everything. So the way people think is like, oh, you don't want to cover your mouth because, you have anxiety. You have anxiety and it's kicking in because you don't know how to cope your brain with that anxiety. And no, you don't know how to cope your brain with anxiety. And yes, it's all in your head. And yes, that's dedication and dedication time to practice. And I don't know. It's a long story, but during that time, I freaked out one time in my doctor's office, and she prescribed me some, let's just say, Exian. I can't say it on here, but that's the hard stuff right there. And when she prescribed me that, I was I felt different. I felt more open and more like I can talk to people. Again, this is my journey of am I really that antisocial? So after that, I took those pills. Then she told me to go to a psychiatrist because something was very wrong with me because I didn't want to wear a mask and because it didn't logically think to their head, because they wear masks all day, they're doctors, so it doesn't affect them, so they think, oh, something's wrong with you mentally. And after that, I went to hold on. After that, I went. Well, I didn't go to see a psychiatrist. I had online appointments, but seeing a psychiatrist was every session. Well, every 6 months was $300. And yes, that was pricey, but that was the only way I was going to get my medication for clonazepam. I think Prozac. I think I had something else too. Um, so I had to go. I had to get those depression pills. Now those depression pills, I say they helped me. They did, because I felt I felt different, like around people and stuff. Like my shell was kind of breaking. I could say that my shell was kind of breaking. I was talking to people, and I'm like, oh, this is like because of the happy pills. My anxiety is going away, and to talk to people, to speak to people, because I was so antisocial. So after quite some time, yes, it did get so expensive um, to maintain the psychiatrist, because I was going through a job transition, a new job transition, and I was like, okay, my insurance is going to be different now. I don't know if my insurance is going to be the same or different or whatnot. The last session I had with my psychiatrist. Oh, hold on. Before we hit that, oh, I almost forgot. I'm drinking my H2O. Before I hit that, I want to say that those anxiety pills, they threw me off. They threw my balancement off. Meaning, I was having lucid dreaming. I was having like paranoia, and I was having like more anxiety. This was towards the end. Well, kind of towards the end. And I wasn't trying to stop him, but I did mention that I do want to stop him, because every time it bring up, it was work related. My anxiety was work related. It was nothing about. It was nothing really about friends, family, relationship. It was work anxiety. I had bad time work anxiety, and so when I had my first lucid dream, I freaked out, and I kept having them, and I kept freaking out. And then I told my psychiatrist that I'm having really horrible lucid dreamings, very epic and very, you know, I'm paralyzed, and it just feels so weird. Like, and then he's like, okay, well, we'll up a dose. So I had to up a dose on some of my medication, and then it was kind of leveling up, leveling down. And so I'm like, okay, well, that was that set. And I can say I felt like I needed them and I wanted them and I had to have them, but because the way they make me feel of being at least social wise, and then I dropped down, which is the last session, because of the insurance. Now the insurance, I don't know. I told him that. Well, he said, okay, well, speak to me whenever you do the transition, and we'll have a new session. And so a month goes by, 2 months goes by, 3 months goes by, a whole 6 months go by, and I still haven't heard from him. No checkup, no doctor's checkup. So I was so over it, because I was like, was he really there to help me with my anxiety, my antisocialness, my depressionness? Because now I'm over here like, sober without having, well, I had a couple of withdrawals, but I was over here like thinking to myself, how come he didn't check up on me? Like say, hey, you all right? I would think a psychiatrist too would check up on their clients. Honestly, and that's what I just put two and two together, and just said, F. Maybe he was just there to take my money and just prescribe me these things, and it was just a sugar coat. And so I was like, I was opening my mind towards that, and I knew that's what it was. Everybody knows that you can't trust doctors or psychiatrists or anybody in the medical field, because they're there to do their job, but not really to hear you out, not really to focus on you. And that's what's wrong with this world now. That's why they're like, oh, well, somebody shot somebody because of their mental health. Well, because you know what? Mental health is very expensive. And you don't know if somebody's going to actually pay attention to you and make sure. So, all with the story, I I basically spoke to my own self and I processed my own self. I had a big another panic attack, well, a major panic attack, and I was saying to myself, after I had the major panic attack, and then there was little mini ones where I was not, all over the place. And then I made a live stream too, guys. Probably my last season, about how I'm handling my health with basically iron, water, and B12. Because water, guys, I'm going to say water is a key in life, especially if you're a female. So, what was happening, I'm not a doctor, don't get me wrong, but this is my own theory. What is happening is my anxiety is based off my own chemistry in my body. Everything is thrown off. Women, we go through menstrual cycles, and every single time bef- prior to my menstrual cycle, I would have faint modes. And then it's all like, well, then that means I need more iron. So I would be taking more iron. I would be drinking more water, and I would have my B12. And then my anxiety started slowly going away. And then, like, well, I'm not going to have too much time on this, but then I started realizing, let's keep continuing to do that. And I was getting better slowly but surely every month, because I was like, okay, this is actually helping. This is actually helping my what's going on, and I'm feeling so much better. And I'm actually talking. So now it brings me to this point, since I've been blabbering on about my health history. Am I really that antisocial anymore? Because if I think about it, some days I can be, some days, but some days I get in work mode or boss mode or like talking mode where it's all like, I don't, I don't even know how to say this, but I used to basically see myself before I started this, that drinking the water and stuff. I used to detach myself. If anybody's heard of that, it's very real. I would detach myself. I felt like I wasn't real. I felt like I just didn't feel anything. I felt like it was a dream. Once I started drinking water, getting my iron levels up, eating meat, eating like the same, tacos of course, but I started feeling a little different. And I kept doing those things, doing those steps. And now it's all like I can walk into a store and talk to people all of a sudden, all randomly. And I'm all like, well, where did my antisocialness go? Am I really that antisocial anymore? Because it's all about the development, growth and development, guys. Did I just blossom out of just drinking water, iron, and B12? Like, did that really help? Because I want to know from other people too. I'm gonna leave that towards the end, but some days, whenever some only a couple of days out of the week is when I'm like, I don't want to go out. That's it. Only a couple of days out of the month. I can't say out of the week, but now I'm all like, I can go out and hello, welcome in. I can go out and talk to people. And another thing too is I do drink, and people don't understand, but well, some people do, some people do. But yes, drinking can bring out a person because it unlocks a that fear to not, well, I don't even know how to say it. It doesn't sound wrong, but drinking did help me cope with my antisocialness because I wouldn't be able to say the things that I had said. I would have been like, oh, like a little dog on the floor. I don't want to mention anything. But then it did bring me up. It did bring me to a point where it's like I gained some confidence out of drinking. And you can go look it up, but yes, people that are very antisocial and then they start drinking just casually, not hardcore. I'm not talking about hardcore, just casually drinking. It could bring out a little bit of your personality towards another person. And that is proven for a lot of people that are antisocial. A lot of people, because the the alcohol puts you in your state of mind where it's all like you can say things that your inner self cannot say. You're antisocial because I don't want to say do it. I don't want to say do it, but I want to. I want some people that have antisocial anxiety to drink a couple of mixed drinks or whatever you like, you know, and see how it turns out because your brain starts thinking differently. I don't know if that even makes sense, but so yeah, alcohol did play a role in it too. And I'm not saying drinking excessively. I'm gonna get into a video later. I myself drink alcohol every day, but not for a bad cause. To relax. But I will get into that session maybe in the next one. I'm not sure. But my antisocial has went like way I can see because I can be in line and talk to a person. And I'm all like, did I just make conversation? Like, it does feel weird because I brought myself to this talk because of what I said. Was it the other day? Well, the other live stream about me going to CVS, and then this lady was getting a bag of chips, and I'm looking at the bag of chips, and she's looking at the bag of chips, and then it was like the hot fries. I remember hot fries used to be $2, now they're $2.99, and so I was all like, man, look at this. It went up. I didn't even know. And then she looks at me, and we just started conversating, like just like that. And I'm all like, wow. Because on a normal given day, I would just be like, ugh, a human. Some days I am like that. Some days I'm like that. But sometimes I'll be like, oh, people, gotta go down the aisle, next aisle. No, sometimes I get my braveness. Lately, I've been having a lot of braveness. Some days, like I said, some days are different. But it's just like now I'm talking to people. I'm talking to people that I haven't even. I don't know. It's a whirlwind. But guys, these are just my thoughts about myself and how I grew and developed myself, and well, how it actually played out basically on me growing and developing, and I could say that I am really really not the person that I was 9 years ago. I may kind of act the same, talk the same, whatnot, but in reality, it's all like, mm, I feel a little bit more different. I can't say I'm cocky, but my confidence is very high. But like I say, I did develop, and I developed really, really strong. And if I can do it, you can do it. Anybody else can do it. You just got to set your mind to it. My cousin was the same way. He took that off of me. Somebody would say hi to him. He now he's grown and developed, but when he was a kid, some people would say hi to him, and he'll be like, like a little dog. Mm-hmm. Now you talk to him, he's like 18 years old. I mean, he was like 16, 17. Like he was 17 and 16 whenever he was still antisocial. But he had friends, but he only talked to some. But then it's all like, now he's like talking and saying hi, hello, and just being abnormal that I've known. And it's all like, what? You said thank you? You really don't even talk. And it is weird. And you just gotta kind of work on it over the years, being non-antisocial. I feel like I could pick up a conversation with someone, and so my conversations don't they go too fast. We kind of bounce around some of my conversations. If I have a conversation with someone, they kind of bounce around, or they just don't last. Like it gets dead air, and like, sure, that happens every now and then in conversations. But damn, and I can, like, I don't even really have to have a drink. Like I can walk somewhere, and I can walk into a bar sober, even though I don't want to, because I want to pregame, because I just want to send it, like, because I'm in party mode, whatnot, however they say. But it all depends on the situation. But yes, I can walk into a bar sober and still talk to someone, talk to people around me. And it's a like, wow, am I really antisocial anymore? Like, it is. Hmm. But that's all a part of growth and development. And I encourage other people to do the same. It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. Find your comfort zone. Find it. Figure out what makes you comfortable around people. Yes, there's some people that you really don't want to talk to. Or there's like some people that are like, say for instance, in tuxedos and stuff, and they look too good for life or whatnot. And you're like, F it. Just talk to them. Maybe they have good conversations too. You know, people are sometimes too scared or shy to talk to rich people. And it's all like, just talk to them. You know, They succeeded in, or we, I don't want to say that sounds so bad, but yeah, just talk to people. It's hard. I know. I went through it, and I just told my whole entire story right there about it. About it, if I'm really antisocial anymore. Oh, these kids are going crazy. But yeah, so thank you for whoever was watching. I see a couple of likes. It really is truly. These kids going crazy. It's truly interesting to grow and develop into a person that you don't really you don't really think that you were gonna be. And then when you look back at your old self, you're like, wow, I did miss out on a lot. I really did. But it's all about growth and development and experiencing life itself. But yeah, so am I really that antisocial anymore is the question. Growth and development. Thank you for sticking around. Let me know in the comment section down below if you are antisocial, if any of this advice helps, especially the women and girls. Drink water, have your iron and B12, and I guarantee you will see a progress in some of your anxiety. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.